Okay, we are up to Siman Reish Nun Beis. In middle, yesterday we started Sa'if Aleph, where we spoke about certain malachas that you're able to do on Erev Shabbos, even though it's going to end up doing the malacha on Shabbos. So let's pick up. We said yesterday about putting flax into a vat is mutter as long as it's not on the fire and it's covered in plaster or lime or something to cover it. And we said even if it's not on the flame, what are we worried about? The afilu eina ala eish. Even if you have this flax in a pot, it's not on the flame, it's a problem. Eina tucha petit. If it's not closed up with lime or plaster, whatever it is, aser shema yagas babakaf. You might stir it with the spoon. Va'ameges bekteira afilu ala eish. If someone stirs it in a pot, even if it's not on the fire, what's the problem? Chayav mishum mivashel. So let's see this inside, because we went very quickly through this yesterday. It makes sense to chazer it a little more. Aser shema. It says shema. What's the issue? Shema yechata. You might end up stoking the coals, and even if it's not on the fire, you have a problem of stirring it with the spoon. Va'ameges hine. After mechaber, even though the mechaber put what hishva gasa b'yar like gasa b'kdeira, it didn't make a difference if it's on the vat, which means it's on the fire, or if it's off the fire. Ain't a shovel the It's not really perfect. Why? The b'kdeira, in the case of the pot that's off the fire, imu v'shelas kol tzarkai. If it's totally cooked, su less be'isura. There's no real isser going on and stirring it. V'ilu b'yaira. If it's on the vat, it's on the fire. Also b'chol gam nelahagas, but it's never mutter to stir the flax, like we're going to see in Shin Yud Ches, Sif Yud Ches. Therefore, Valkain, Osir Lasit Semel Yaira. You're not allowed to put flax into a vat, Reisacha Samuch Lechashecha, right and close, right before Shabbos, Keshein Etucha when it's not covered. Avshei Yesh Shahos Lilkut that 7 by Yaim. Even though there's enough time for really to get the Seveya, to get the dye in, Shema Yagis Meshachashecha. We're worried you're going to stir it after Shabbos comes in. Okay. So now let's continue. The halacha, what's the issue of stirring it? Chayav mishum mivashel. The hayedei hagasa begdeiro sachas miskarva bishul b'meheira. Because you stirring it, what you're really doing it is causing it to cook much quicker. And they bring down in note 4 the Tama Isser. What's the problem of spinning it in the pot? Even though, what's the issue? What's the malacha? They bring down it's seveya. Because what were the people that wanted to dye? They would constantly mix it and stir it like it doesn't, so it shouldn't get ruined. And more than that, it gets quicker. The dye comes quicker when you stir it. Therefore, it's an issue. They bring that from Nala Charatzian that with dye you constantly needs a bishul, and they bring that nafkamina is someone who cooks it, someone who's doing dye without flax. That according to the last reason that always needs bishul is an issue, Mashenka, the first two reasons that's just going to cause the flax to go quicker, there's no flax. Okay. Let's continue the base, Yosef. Umutter lifrais mitzudais chaya v'oifis v'dagim v'heim nitzaydim b'Shabbos. You're allowed to set up a trap on Erev Shabbos in order to get animals, chickens, or even a fish or net in the sea. It's mutter to put it in before Shabbos, and what's going to happen is during Shabbos they're going to get trapped. So you'll come after Shabbos and you'll pull it out. Okay, Shabbos. What about Shabbos itself? Can you do it? What's the issue of doing it? Emu oisakain ubeshas prisasa, which is very important. That when you set out the net or the trap, nichnas achayv l'seicha, that moment the animal comes into, that's an issue chayim mishum tzeda. That's an isser darais. It's one of the lamitas melachos. What's the nafkamina of when does it turn into Rabbanan Seder or Daraisa to Seder? The nafkamina is if you set out the trap on Shabbos, and then only 10-15 minutes later an animal goes into the trap, that's only Rabbanan. However, if you set the trap immediately, right? Picture a net, you're trying to catch a butterfly, you quickly fly it in and grab it, that's Seder Daraisa. Alright. That's so Mitzaydes Chayes Mutter Shabbos. Umutter, another halach is you're allowed to sell stuff. Limker leini yudi latin, and you can load it up. Samel chachashecha on Erev Shabbos, even though the guy is going to be doing it on Shabbos with all the schayra ubilvad. We learned this already earlier. This halacha that he has to leave your house before Shabbos, and the Mishnah Berurah is going to explain why. Sheyetze mi pesach beisay mi ba'oid yom. Before Shabbos comes in, he must leave your house. So let's see the Mishnah Berurah inside. Ubelvad sheyetzai from your house, right? There's no time. It's so close to Shabbos that he's not going to be able to get out of the house in time. The guy is saying, listen, he called him up. He said, I'm only going to pull up at 10 o'clock tonight, and it's Erev Shabbos. Then, after Mechira is also, it's a problem of selling it. Okay, and then they had a Shiloh. They bring down note 6, a very interesting Shiloh. What about vending machines? Can I put a vending machine in a Goyish college? All the people buying it are Goyim. Is that mutter? So the Minchas Yitzchak says it's mutter, but you should have kavanah that you only buying the schus of the money only on Motzei Shabbos. Or he says you can make a t'nai, something called brera. Usually brera doesn't work in that right. So it means when you're maknet to this person, this snack bag, before Shabbos, whatever snack bag John the guy is going to buy, you're maknet to him already before Shabbos. So it's called brera, because it's only happening after that he bought it. But midarabanan it works. Since it's only midarabanan, they bring down the isra darabanan mayil brera, which means it helps. It's a very interesting point you could do with vending machines. All right. So again, we're saying the problem is, it has to be, the guy has to get out of your house with all his stuff before Shabbos. Why? Kedei shelo yenira shayisrael tzivo leitzir lechutz. So it shouldn't look like the Yid is commanding the guy to do it on Shabbos. And we saw this already in Reish Mem Vav Sif Beis. It mentioned the exact same halacha. As long as he gets out on time, so it shouldn't look like he's telling you, the Yid is telling the guy to do it on Shabbos. V'yesh oitam l'zeh. They bring down the Rambam. Shelo yachshedu. So shouldn't people, regular Yid, shouldn't suspect you, the Yid, as Yisrael shemachalei b'Shabbos and Mishkan, or Mishkan Abiyad. You gave it to him as the other mashkin, or you sold it to him. Uletam zeh. According to this reasoning, also even if it's in a place where there's an erev, it's still an issue, because the issue is the people shouldn't think that he sold it to him on Shabbos. According to the first reason is it shouldn't look like Isra Itzah. So in a case where there's an erev, there's no problem like so. But according to the second reason, which is the Rambam, the people shouldn't think you sold it to them on Shabbos. Doesn't make a difference if there's an erev. However, they bring down Lamaisal that b'malkim tzorich gadol we could be makel. They bring it down. The Chayei Adam says this, in a real pressing need, you can rely on that. In a case where there's an erev, you can rely on the first tam. Regarding something says a chayfetz, or you're trying to rent it to him. Even if there's a mukavas chayma, there's no problem. That what should see him basically you should try to make him remove whatever you can before Shabbos. I guess for the reasoning of the Rambam that people shouldn't think that you are telling him on Shabbos to buy it. However, the Ramah says as follows. Let's see the Ramah inside. Veyesh matirin sheyotze eini Yehudi b'Shabbos im yichid loy ha'eini Yehudi makim b'yoyim b'beis Yisrael. The Ramah brings the matirim that hold. If I designate a very specific place for the guy to put the stuff there before Shabbos, the guy calls me up. I say no problem. I'm going to give you a room. That's going to be your room. Put all the stuff over there. Then it's mutter according to Yesh matirim. However, the Ramah fears that yesh lahachmer. So Mardechi says you should be machmer. V'ayin l'kamon siman shin chaf hey. So let's see the Mishnah Berurah inside. What's the heter of the yesh matirim im yichid le'makom? Sfarasam, their reasoning is the way we look if someone designates a room specifically for the guy, it's like we're giving him that room. It's like his room already, and there's no problem. It's like I already removed it from my house. However, the Mardechi, it sounds like yesh lahachmer. Why? In order that the guy doesn't become accustomed to this, and not only that, what can happen is, in scenarios where you forgot to be miyachid lo yamakam, the guy's not going to know the difference. He's going to end up coming, and you're going to end up starting to do that, and we don't want to get anyone accustomed to this type of thing. Okay. Ve'ayin ba'achroinim she'eskimu de medina, ein lahakam b'zeh. L'maisi should not be mekel. De'kaim elam b'sim tov mem, gam gabe chametz, regarding chametz, we find regarding chametz on guy only chametz on Pesach. It doesn't help that the guy set up and designated a place. The people seeing the chametz also over here, like we saw the first shot in the Mishnah Berurah. Again, have said the Tzorich Gadol, which was the Chayei Adam we saw in the Shartzi and Yud It's the same Chaya Adam. Actually, they bring down, interesting, the Sharatzin over here brings down the Taz. But we saw also earlier from the Chaya Adam, this concept. It's Malkum Tzarech Gadol, we can lie in this. Okay. If the guy tied it up into bundles, then, even if he didn't designate him a place, it's mutter. The B'chai Gavna like Gazru Chachamim weren't geyser. Kosav Eilas Tamid. The Eilas Tamid writes, Nere dem Hisker Sacheder Leini Yude Bepruta Al Meshech Yom Shabbos. He rents it to him. He gives him a lease for $1 throughout the whole entire Shabbos. Ein lahach miklal ayin sham. You have nothing to be machmer. No worries. Avla Magen Avraham Shach Reinu Kosav the Filu B'Schir Sacheder ein lismach lahakol lamaisa. The Magen Avraham writes, even in such a scenario, we should not be saimich to be lenient. Let's start base today, and we're going to pick up tomorrow the end of Siv base. Siv base. Umutar litain begadov lekayvis ein Yehudi. Very practical halachas today. Can I go Friday to the laundry guy, drop off my clothing, my shirts? He might do it. He's open 7 days a week. He might do it on Shabbos. Could I go? Same thing for Oyris La'abdin, or leather to the tanner guy. Peir Sha'uman. This is the artisan that's creating, right? He tans and he uses all these hides, right before Chashecha, right before Shabbos, is a mutter. So the lach is, Zok the Mishdok the Beis Yosef. If it's a set fee, he's doing it b'toivas hana. That means he's willing to do it for free. We're going to see the Mishnah Berurah about this. So let's see. For those two reasons, it's mutter. Let's finish the Mishnah Beis Yosef. The third thing is, the second thing really is, either for free or tevis and all. Second thing is, you cannot tell him to do it on Shabbos. The third thing really needs to be is, it has to be that the person who's doing your laundry on Shabbos is doing it in his own house. So let's start the Mishnah Berurah today. And tomorrow we'll pick up from where we leave off. Okay, litem begadov. Who are the l'shar malachas? It's not specifically clothing, giving it to the person Erev Shabbos. Any other malachas. Same thing with the mechanic. Can you drop off your car? Vahatam, the kima the kotzalei damim v'amalachtai. I'm paying you a set fee to go today to go put a shirt by the cleaners is $225. That's how much I'm paying. I don't care when you do it. I'm not in a rush. I drop off 5 shirts or 10 shirts at a time. I'll come by in a week. It's mutter. If you're not allowed to walk in Friday afternoon and say, I want to pay for priority, for emergency, etc., I need it to be done by the second Shabbos is out. That's already a problem. So now that he's working for himself on Shabbos, he wants it as much as he can, but it has nothing to do with me. When you give it to him close enough to Shabbos, they bring them from the Rambam. If he comes, let's say it's a pickup order, he has to be out of your house before Shabbos, before the sun starts to set. Okay, katzatz. It has to be a set fee. You're not paying him for the day. You're paying him for a flat fee. We saw this barichas over there, Siv Beis then, when we started Chel Gimel. Dem hesna ima sheiten le sachar vispasher imay afa pisha le payers kama yitin le dina kakatzas, which means to say is, I told you I'm going to pay you the fee. I didn't explicitly make up the numbers. The halach is that it's dina kakatzas, because again, there's a set fee that I'm expected to pay. Ubizman is then today's day came lekayvis stama dina kakatzas. When you walk to go drop off your laundry by the laundromat, it has a very set fee. The kitzvasa yadua, right? If you go look and you look at the screen, it'll tell you the set prices. And same thing they bring down with Rosh Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. He says in these days, if a person, right, the person, as long as it's a very reasonable price, you'll pay it. When you call a laborer to fix your washing machine, and he tells you $150, that's the set price. So therefore, it's considered like a set fee. And if he wants to do it on Shabbos, it's up to him. Again, as long as it's not in your house. As long as it's a set fee, and as long as you did not tell him. It's those 3 rules. What's it mean, toivas hana? He's willing to work for free. And we say We brought this down earlier in Reish Vav, Reish Zayin, the same concept. He's doing it. When a guy's doing something for you, he had a purpose. Either he owes you a favor, he's expected a favor in the future, but the point is that now he's doing it for himself. Okay, we're going to stop over here and pick up tomorrow with the third halacha that you're not allowed to tell him to do it on Shabbos.